I sat on the kitchen floor at 2:47 a.m., my back against the oven, watching the cursor on my phone blink like a dying heartbeat. The apartment smelled like burnt coffee and the lavender candle he'd given me on our first anniversary. I had pressed play 11 times now, 11 times on the message he'd left at 11:09 p.m., the timestamp glowing beside his name like a small, cruel joke. Hey, don't call me back. I know you'll try, but don't. I broke it. I know I broke it. I need you to know that I knew exactly what I was doing when I did, and I'm not asking you to forgive me, because forgiveness would be easier than what I'm actually giving you. Look at the second shelf, left side. Behind the books you never read. I left you something. I'm sorry it isn't enough. I'm sorry it had to be me. His voice had cracked on the word me. I had memorized where it cracked. 0:47 into the message, right after the soft inhale, right before the exhale that shook. I played it again. 12. The candle flickered. I didn't move. For 3 years, I had built my whole life around one sentence he said in a hospital waiting room, and tonight, sitting on a floor that smelled faintly of him, I had to admit the sentence was gone. We met in the kind of way you don't get to choose. I was 22, sitting outside a 7-Eleven at 3 a.m., crying so hard I couldn't see the crosswalk. My mother had just died. 2 hours earlier, in a room that smelled like disinfectant and bad coffee. He came out of the store with a Slurpee and a pack of cheap cigarettes and stopped, mid-stride, like he had walked into a wall made of me. "You okay?" he asked. Nobody had asked me that in a way that sounded real for years. I said nothing. He sat down on the curb beside me, 6 inches of cold concrete between us, and waited. He didn't try to fix it. He didn't tell me it would be okay. He just stayed. His name was Eli. He was 29. He drove a truck with a dent in the back fender that looked exactly like the state of Ohio. He worked nights at a printing press and read hardcover books like other men drank beer. Slowly, religiously, in the company of dogs. 6 weeks after my mother died, I was sitting in a hospital waiting room again. This time it was for him. He had collapsed at work. Something about his heart. Something about wait, don't, I'm fine. I sat beside him for 9 hours. When the doctor finally came out and said the words stable, rest, lifestyle, I cried. He laughed at me from the bed. "If I die," he said, voice still raw from the wires, "promise me you'll burn my hardbacks. I don't want my sister to have them. That's a weird promise. Promise me the other one, then." "What other one?" He looked at me, really looked, in that way that makes you forget the fluorescent lights and the smell of hand sanitizer, and said, "I will never lie to you. Not once. Not even when the truth is ugly. Especially then." I believed him. I shouldn't have, but I did. For 7 years, that sentence was the foundation of our whole life. We moved in together after a year. A small apartment above a bakery, oven heat in summer, flour dust on the windowsill, the smell of something always rising. He worked days then. He cooked. He read to me from whatever book he was halfway through, even when I fell asleep on his shoulder and he had to start the chapter over the next morning, pretending not to notice. He never lied. I tested him. God, I tested him. And he never lied. I asked if my dress made me look fat. He said yes, the blue one. I asked if his mother still hated me. He said no, she just doesn't know you. Give her a year. I asked, once, very drunk on New Year's, if he ever thought about leaving me. He paused. He didn't lie. He said, sometimes, but I won't. Not because I promise not to, because I don't want to. That distinction matters. I'll come back to it. We had our rituals. Sunday pancakes at 2 p.m. because he liked the batter to rest. Walks on Tuesdays, no matter the weather. Even when it rained so hard, we came back looking like we'd lost a fight. His mother hated me less, eventually, although she still sent birthday cards with her signature. Love, Helen. Written so small it looked like an apology. I built my whole self around him. Not because he asked me to, because I thought I was lucky. Because a man who never lied felt like a closed door in a country of open ones, and I had walked in, and I had stayed. 6 months ago, things changed. I just didn't know it yet. Eli started working late. Not unusual at first. He'd done that before. But this time, he came home smelling like a different kind of cold, the kind that has been inside buildings you don't know the names of. He stopped reading on the couch. He'd sit at the kitchen table with his laptop, and the screen angled just enough away from me that I couldn't see it without leaning. And I never leaned. I never wanted to be the kind of woman who leaned. He started forgetting things. Small things, then bigger ones. Pancakes on Sunday, but the batter was thinner. Walks on Tuesday, but only when I asked. He kissed me goodnight like he used to, but his hand didn't linger on the small of my back the way it had for years. He was, I realize now, slowly, gently, disappearing in front of me, and I was too in love with who he had been to notice who he was becoming. I asked him, twice, if anything was wrong. Both times he said no. Both times he said it fast, like he had practiced lying. That's when I should have known. That's when the floor should have cracked. But I was 29, and he had never lied to me, and I was still in love with the man from the curb at 3 a.m., and I thought, something's hold. 3 days before the voicemail, I went looking for a birthday card. Our anniversary was in April. His was in October. Mine was in June. I wanted to find the card he had given me on our first anniversary, the lavender candle, because the ribbon was tied in a knot I had never been able to replicate, and I wanted to study it, to understand his hands, the way you sometimes study people you've loved for too long. I went to the second shelf, left side. The books I never read, the ones he'd bought me and I hadn't gotten around to. House of Mirth, The Magic Mountain, a little paperback of Rilke that's still in cellophane. I pulled them out, one by one. Behind them, pressed flat against the wall, was a large manila envelope, his handwriting on the front. Just my name. For Nora, when you are ready. Not before. I didn't open it. I sat on the floor for an hour. Then 2. Then I made tea, drank it cold, made it again, drank it again. I opened it. Inside was a folder. Inside the folder were papers. Inside the papers were letters. 10 years of letters. From a woman named Ruth. From a hospital in another state. From a clinic with a name I had never seen. And at the very bottom of the stack, a single photograph. I recognized him immediately, of course. But I recognized the second person in the photo, too. The little girl on his lap. She was 6. She had his eyes. She had my chin. I understand now why he said, in that hospital waiting room 7 years ago, I will never lie to you. He didn't say I haven't. He said I will. He meant it. Every day of those 7 years, every test I gave him, every small lie I tried to bait him into, he had held. Until the very last week, when he knew he couldn't hold anymore. When he knew I would find it eventually. When he knew the truth had outlasted him. I didn't call. I didn't go to him. I sat with the folder on my lap for 3 days like a pregnant woman who has decided, very quietly, not to have the baby. I was furious. I was bereaved. I was embarrassed of my own body, of the years I had spent being proud of him, of every night I had fallen asleep on his shoulder believing I was the only one in the room. I went through the 7 years like a woman walking through a house she's just learned is haunted, and I found the ghosts in every corner. Sometimes, but I won't. Even then, he had been telling me. I thought about leaving. I packed a bag once, unpacked it, packed it again. I didn't eat. I watched the candle burn to nothing and didn't replace it. I texted his sister, "Have you heard from him?" She said yes, briefly, oddly, like she had been waiting for this text since she was 16. When the voicemail came, on a Tuesday at 11:09 p.m., I thought it was the end. I knew, listening to it, that he was gone. I knew, by the way he said, "Don't call me back," that he had already gone. He had practiced that voicemail the way he had once practiced not looking at his laptop. The way you practice a thing you have been too cowardly to do for years. I sat on the kitchen floor and I listened to it 13 times. I would have listened 14, 15, 100. But I stopped because the candle was out and I couldn't see his name anymore. And I realized I had been memorizing the wrong voice. There was another one I had to find. I stood up. I walked to the second shelf. left side. I pulled away the books I never read. There was another envelope, smaller, newer, with a different handwriting, not his, a child's, looped letters, a tiny drawing of 2 stick figures. I opened it. Inside was a letter dated the week before, from a 6-year-old who introduced herself as June. Hi, my name is June, and my dad is Eli, and he has been sad lately, and I think it's because of you. He says you are the most important person in his life and that he was too scared to tell me about you because he thought I would love you too much and then he would lose you too. He is wrong about many things, but I think he is right about that part. Under the letter, a single photograph. A man and a little girl on a beach. He looked tired. She looked like the sun. She was holding a paper that said, in his handwriting, I am sorry, Nora. I have been sorry since the hospital. I will be sorry until I am not. I am leaving you what is most true of me. Her name is June. She is mine. She is also yours, if you want her. And under that, in his small, careful script, the one he used for labels on the backs of photographs, he had written, she is not a secret. She is the reason. I broke the promise the day I knew I was going to die. I needed you to know her name before I went. What he did next was not what I expected. He had been sick for a year. He had known for a year. He had kept the promise. I will never lie to you, until the day he could no longer keep it, and then he had broken it, but only on the last night of his life. He had given me the truth in a folder, in an envelope, in a letter from a 6-year-old who drew 2 stick figures. He had given me the truth in the order a person gives up a secret, slowly, gently, with one hand on the wheel and the other on the door of the car, so that when you finally look up, you realize you have arrived somewhere you did not know you were going. He had not left me for another woman. He had left me a daughter. He had not betrayed me with a secret. He had carried the secret so I would not have to. He had not lied for 7 years. He had lied for 7 days, the last 7 days. And he had put the truth in the place I would find it, in the order I would understand it, on the night he knew he could not be there to tell it himself. What he did next was die. 3 days after the voicemail, in a motel room 2 states over, with a paperback of Rilke open on the nightstand to a poem I had never read. You are not surprised at the force of the storm. You have seen it growing. The trees flee, the windows rattle, the leaves are stripped, and you know it is the hour of his undoing. June came to live with me in June. Of course she did. I had not known a 6-year-old for very long, but I knew this. She drew stick figures the way other children drew flowers, compulsively, on every surface, in every color she could borrow from my kitchen. She put her hand on the small of my back when we walked, the way her father used to. She asked if I had any pancakes, because her dad said I made the best ones on Sundays, with batter that had to rest. I did not yet, but I would learn. I kept his voicemail. It is saved in my phone, in a folder I have labeled Do Not Delete. There are 28 messages in that folder, all of them from him. The first is from the night we met, the curb outside 7-Eleven. His voice saying, "You okay?" Like a man who has just walked into a wall and decided to stay there. The last is the one that broke me, the one that remade me, the one I now play once a year, on the second Sunday of summer, when the baker downstairs is making bread and the kitchen smells like the life I thought I had lost. He broke the promise. And what he did next changed everything. Because what he did next was trust me with the truest thing he had. He trusted me with the name of a 6-year-old girl in a photograph on a beach. He trusted me with the second shelf, left side, behind the books. He trusted me to put the batter down and rest. He trusted me, in the end, to become the woman he had seen on the curb that night. Not the one crying, but the one who, after a long time, stood up.